Hello children, welcome you all for the session. So in last class we started the first chapter, that is sources of food. Under that we studied food and nutrients, right? Let us recall what we learned in the last class and then go for the next concept. So we studied about food and nutrients. Under this we studied about the functions of food. What are the functions of food? The functions of food are: it gives us energy, it helps us to grow, and then it helps in the repair of worn out cells, then it helps us to fight against diseases, right? These are the main functions of food. And then we studied about the variety of food. What do you mean by variety of food? Variety means in different states, different food styles are being practiced. So we call it as variety of food. And then comes the ingredients. What do you mean by ingredients? Ingredients are the food items we use to prepare a particular dish, right? I also gave you the assignment regarding ingredients, to list out the ingredients, and also connected to it we also wrote the sources of food. What do you mean by sources of food? Sources of food means from where do we get the food, either from plants, animals, yes, or from earth. So the main sources of food are the plants, right children? So they are called as producers. So I gave you an activity to complete. Few of you have submitted, few of you have not submitted. So please ensure that when the assignment is given, you submit it on time, right children? So the next concept is food habits of animals. What do you mean by food habits of animals? So we know that the plants can prepare their own food, but the animals cannot prepare their own food, right? So they have to depend upon the plants directly or indirectly. The animals live in different places, right children? So depending upon the food habits, their body is modified. So let us see about herbivores. What are herbivores? Herbivores are the plant-eating animals. We all know, right? Herbivores are the plant-eating animals. So you can look at the picture. So the herbivores have sharp cutting teeth, and also they have flat grinding teeth to chew the plants or the grass they eat, right? Next comes the carnivores. What do you mean by carnivores? Carnivores are the flesh-eating animals. They have sharp teeth to tear the flesh, and all other teeth is small because they swallow the flesh in whole, as a whole, right? They don't chew and eat the flesh, they swallow it after tearing the flesh. Next comes the omnivores. What are omnivores? Omnivores are the animals which eat both plants and animals. They eat both plants and animals. So here children, for the omnivores, all the teeth is well developed. They have sharp cutting teeth, they have tearing teeth, also they have broad and flat grinding teeth as well. For example, a human being. A human being, all the teeth is well developed, yes? Because human being is a omnivore. And then comes the scavengers. What do you mean by scavengers? Scavengers are the animals which eat dead animals, which eat the dead animals. So these scavengers help in keeping the surroundings clean, right? What happens if the dead animals lie here and there? It will be decomposed there itself, and the flies, mosquitoes will be flying all around. Yes? So it makes the place dirty, right? So what do these animals help? These animals help in keeping the surroundings clean, right? Now next classification is the parasites. parasites. Parasites are the small animals which depend upon other living beings for their food. For example, mosquito. Yes, mosquito will suck the blood of human beings or other animals. Do they have teeth? No, they have long pipe-like structure. With the help of that, they pierce it inside the skin. They suck the blood. Right, children? So they depend upon other animals for their food. So mainly we classify the animals into three categories, that is herbivores, carnivores and omnivores, and then scavengers and parasites. Okay, children. Herbivores, plant-eating animals, example cow, sheep, goat, elephant, giraffe. These are the examples for herbivores. Carnivores, lion, tiger. These are the examples for carnivores. And then omnivores, which eats both plants and animals, bear, fox and hyena. These are the examples for omnivores. The scavengers, crow, vulture, hyena. These are the examples for scavengers. Parasites, as I told you, mosquito is a parasite, and then leech, fleas, tapeworm, roundworm. These are the examples for the parasites which depend upon the other living beings. So these parasites will live both outside means on the body of the animal and as well as inside the body, like tapeworm and roundworm will be present inside the body of the animals. Got it? So these are the classification of animals we have done depending upon the food habits. Okay? Next, all the animals will be dependent on each other for their food, right? Directly or indirectly. So what do we call this link between the plants and animals? We call it as a food chain. Right, children? We call it as food chain. So in this chart you can see, children. So this is a chart for food chain of food where it is. So see here the soil, or we consider it as the soil. The grass will be grown using the nutrients present in the soil. The grass will be eaten by grasshopper. Grasshopper will be eaten by small birds. Birds will be eaten by the snake. Snake will be eaten by mongoose. Mongoose will be eaten by fox. Or else, when the mongoose dies, it will be decomposed and mixed up with the soil. Again, the microorganisms present in the soil break down the body and decomposes and mixes it with the soil. The nutrients that are present in that body will be mixed up in the soil when it is decomposed. And again, those nutrients will be used by the plants to grow. Again, those plants will be eaten by some animals. Right, children? Like this, it is a continuous process or it is a continuous chain. So it is referred as food chain. One more example it is given. So the trees, the leaves of the trees will be eaten by the caterpillar. Caterpillar will be eaten by the rat. Again, the rat will be eaten by the fox. Or else the rat, when it dies, it mixed up with the soil and it is decomposed and mixed up with the soil. So it is a continuous food chain. It shows all the living beings are interdependent on each other. So what we can see? A food chain shows how the living beings are dependent on each other in a particular environment. Why I mentioned it as a particular environment? What do you mean by particular environment? The food chain is different in a different environment, right, children? So for example, pond. In a pond, what happens? You can see algae. This is the green plant, algae. Algae will be eaten by the small fish. Yes. And then the small fish will be eaten by the large fish. This is an example of food chain in the pond. In the land, on land, what happens? The grass. Let us take grass. Grass will be eaten by grasshopper. And then grasshopper will be eaten by frog. Frog will be eaten by snake. Snake will be eaten by vulture. And the vulture, when it dies, children, the microorganisms, with the help of microorganisms, it will be decomposed, and again it will mixed up with the soil, right? It will be mixed up with the soil, and again, from the using the nutrients from the soil, again the plants or the grass will be grown. Again, the chain continues like this. So we call it as a food chain. So children, we studied about the food habits of animals and about the food chain today. So this is what about the lesson number 1, the sources of food. Okay. Now let us see a small video about the food habits of animals. Thank you.
All living organisms need food. Do all of them eat plants? No. Based on their food habits, we can classify them into different categories like herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Herbivores. Herb means plants and vores means eaters. The animals which obtain their food only from plants are called herbivores. Examples are goat, cow, horse, deer, giraffe, butterfly, etc. They have flat and broad teeth which help them to pull the plant leaves and grind them. These animals first eat food and fill their stomach. When they are relaxed, they bring the food back into the mouth for chewing it properly. The process of chewing the food by bringing it into mouth from the stomach is called rumination. Butterfly and hummingbird have a straw-like shape with which they suck the sweet juice called nectar from the flowers. Carnivores. Carn means meat and vores means eater. So, the animals which obtain their food only from other animals, that is, in the form of meat, are called carnivores. Example: lion, tiger, fox, eagle, snake, spider, shark, etc. For tearing the flesh, they have sharp and pointed teeth, sharp claws, and very strong jaws. They chew flesh with strong back teeth. Carnivore birds such as eagle have curved, pointed beaks for tearing the flesh. Some animals such as chameleon catches insects with their long tongue. Omnivores. Omni means all and vores means eaters. The animals which obtain their food from plants as well as other animals are called omnivores. Example: human, bear, raccoon, crow, chicken, lizards, rats, etc. They have different kinds of teeth which helps them to eat plants as well as flesh. Omnivorous birds have sharp and pointed beak for eating both plants as well as small insects. Besides these three main categories, there are other animals such as parasites, scavengers, and decomposers. Parasites are the animals which live on or in the other animal's body and obtain nutrients from their body. For example, tapeworms, fleas, bacteria, virus, protozoa such as Plasmodium, etc. Scavengers are the animals such as vulture, which feed on dead animals or plants. Decomposers are the animals such as bacteria, which decomposes or breaks down complex organic materials such as dead parts of animals and plants, waste materials, etc. into simple inorganic substances such as iron, nitrogen. These materials goes into soil and becomes available for plants as nutrients. So I hope you understood this topic very well. Thanks for watching this video.